after it's
Yeah,
recorded, then that's the link you use.
yeah. And
Gotcha.
on YouTube right now, I went in and put a message on there, under the YouTube video. I put a message said,
Okay.
"Hey Frank, Dennis, and Hank, click on this link." And I hope Dennis sees it, but I'm going to text Dennis and tell him to uh,
I think my
click
picture
on that.
froze.
That's we used to that, bro.
Yeah.
Me.
Oh
We
well.
used
I was about to
to.
say, why is it like I'm holding my glasses?
Yeah, and also doing some other stuff with your fingers there, bro.
I'm just adjusting my glasses, man. Ain't no
Uh
set
huh.
tripping over here.
Some other stuff going on. You part of secret society. Yeah, Tony said you part of that secret society shit. We um. Let's see. Let's see. Click on a YouTube video. Let's see. Let me do it again. Now, how can I send it? I send it to him in Messenger.
Yeah.
Um.
I'm just gonna turn the cam off, turn it back on. Hold on.
Okay. I
That
send it
didn't
to him
work.
in.
Okay.
Let's see. How can I do this? Send it. I know what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to write it for Dennis. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I know I've been pushing this thing, but I'm gonna have to do it by hand to Dennis. HTTP. Just give me. So, what's been going on, man?
Oh man, just maintain. Trying to keep this COVID weight down.
Yeah.
I'm almost down 10 pounds, so that's good.
So almost down
10.
10 pounds.
Got like 8.
He said log out and log back in. Hank. He told Tony said log in, log back out.
So go all the way out and come back in.
Yeah, that's what he said.
But the link is in here though. That's what I'm saying. Send me the link through the
If you
text
go,
message you sent.
hold on, let me see. I'm sending one to Dennis. Um, Hold on,
Yeah,
let me
just
do
send it
this
in the
real.
group text, and then I'll come in through that.
Hold on, I'm gonna send him. I'm sending him a separate one, so I'll forward it to you. I want to make sure I do this right. NAG,
Okay.
this is crazy.
I'll stay on till you let me know it's done.
What's that? NAGVF. Okay, I see somebody. VF. Is that I? Oh, LQX. Okay, let's see that. Oh, then boom. Yeah, let's see if that'll work for Dennis. If that works for Dennis, then it'll be boom. We're on. All right,
You sent
everybody else
it?
who's in, yeah, I'll send it to Dennis and see if he's going to respond to it. Because I know if he goes, yeah, so that works for him. Hank, you can click the link description field, YouTube as well. Yeah, that's the, yeah. There's a link in the description box. I was hoping people would look at that. There, there is also a link in the description box. YouTube. All right. So I think I sent him everything you need. What are you doing now, Hank? All right. Where'd you go? Oh shit. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Back.
Yeah, I logged out and came back in. Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, cool. Okay. So I sent that little link to Dennis, and everybody else will be checking me out on on YouTube, and you guys will be on Yard Stream, and I hope it
Okay.
yeah. So I hope he'll be coming in, and I have somebody else who will be attempting to come in. It'll be a little difficult, but they may come in, and I'll send them the link once they get here. But let's go ahead and just kind of talk about what really got us here. And I want to, I guess, introduce me. What's up, everybody who don't know me, who are new? I'm Rico, the opinionist. That's what I do. Is I share opinions about anything under the sun, and I also like to hear the opinions of others, and that's why I've summoned particular brothers together tonight to talk about the latest, I guess, the political climate, the current political climate, and how will it impact us, or how does it impact Black men? This channel, like Sharon described, it is where we can come and have those discussions. And this is my first panel discussion. Uh, okay, and so okay, cool. Thank you. Hold on, this. Yeah, it was brother T Hassan. He's at another meeting. Yeah. So, and this practice makes perfect. Hope the brother can make it, but if not, we'll do it. Damn it, phone. But anyway, so I created this platform for us to be able to have this space. We can have this conversation, and with this channel, we should be able to come in and without any judgment talk about what's going on with us. And believe it or not, as Black men as a group, we're not really catered to as a group.
Right.
And I don't think we even know to be catered to as a group. And so hopefully after tonight and with the input of folks in the chat room after we've had our conversation about particular topics and questions that I've written down, we will come to some resolution about how we should be behaving in society as Black men. Because I am going to pose the question of what should we be thinking of ourselves as a particular, as a group, as Black men, heterosexual, masculine Black men. Should we be thinking of ourselves as a group? And for those of you wondering, I'm a master's level social worker in real life. Past 23 and a half years as a mental health professional, as well as substance abuse and addictions counseling. And, write opinions, I blog, and my main focus for the past 5, 6, 7 years has been Black boys and Black men, our mental health, our development. Are we really people in this society? So I decided to direct and aim my social work experience to do what I can to make things a little better for Black boys and Black men. And I'm glad that YouTube and other social media platforms have been making it possible for Black men to come out and have a voice. For the longest time, we never had a voice. In the 80s and 70s, 80s, and 90s, we didn't have a voice except for those wonderful scholars who wrote books and toured across the countries, sometimes to not so sold out crowds. But their books still live on, the literature still lives on, and we can now see some of those great scholars like Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, Dr. Amos Wilson, etc., Dr. Joanna Kunjufu continue on, and we cannot forget Dr. Claude Anderson. We can now see these scholars, these are Black male and female scholars on YouTube. And so social media has created an opening for us as Black men, because in the 80s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, it appeared that the platform speaking about our plights were kind of limited. But whenever our female counterparts had anything to say, well, Oprah, Donahue, Sally Jesse Raphael, Ricky Lake, you name it. But one thing I can say about Donahue, he did allow Minister Farrakhan and Dr. Khalid Muhammad and Dr. Jawan Kunjufu and folks like that to come on. He was the only, I think he was the only one during those years, that decades of the 80s and barely early 90s. Even Geraldo snuck on a few brothers until they broke out in that fight, chucking chairs and busting up noses and stuff like that. But and Geraldo was my man. But hold on, I can get a message from. Dang it! Let's see what's going on. There's also okay. This is gonna be tough. All right, I'm getting a text from Dennis.
Okay.
Let me see. Let me see. There's also a link. It says 404. Whoops, there's nothing here. So then I don't know what to put on here next. Let's see if I can invite him through. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can invite him through Messenger. It says, oh, okay, Tony. Who is this? Okay. What's up, Tone?
Hey, Rico.
What's up, man? Just finna slip out here trying to get Dennis on the panel here. Dennis,
Okay.
yeah. So don't move.
Gotcha.
Yeah, try. Maybe I need. Okay. I think he might be popping up probably when I leave. Who's that? Did he show up? Arsenio Hall. The brother said Arsenio Hall. That's right. Let's see. Well,
What's good, Tom?
Hey, Hank. How's it doing? How's it going? How's it going, man?
yeah, I'm gonna send Dennis.
Everything is everything. Doing great, brother. Good to hear from you. Been a
Right.
while.
Likewise. I'm trying to shed the pandemic weight as well, man. You're not alone. You're not alone in that struggle.
Not alone. I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, and let's see. I'll send it to you. All right. Okay. All right, y'all. I think he may have it now because I sent him to the YouTube channel. He may get it. So we're gonna get this thing together. And so, Amadi says also, I'm doing what you did, Tony. He said, let's see, show. He says, boom. He said in Arsenio Hall. Yeah, but Arsenio, yeah, he brought the minister on, and yeah. So we had a few folks on there who tried to give us a platform, but social media has opened it wide open for us. Let me give Dennis a couple more minutes before I officially introduce all of you to everybody who's listening, who will be listening. And Tony, you're gonna have to show me how to go back and edit this thing where I can cut out the first 15 minutes so we get right to it.
I got you, brother. I got you.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I think it's gonna be a great discussion if we can get this thing together. Let's see if Dennis shows up on the page. Let's see. All right, StreamYard. Everybody else, come on in. Okay. But anyway, I'll start the introductions, and whoever comes in, I'll just introduce them as they come in. And for everybody who's coming on or who will see the playback, I want y'all to meet one of the first persons on the panel who will be joining me in this discussion. His name is Henry Garner. Henry Garner is a native of Ruston, but he's a graduate of D. Grambling State University. He is one of those
Grambling State. That's right.
That's right. And if you want to know anything about finance or history, he is the man you talk to. He's well over 20 some odd years in the corporate world of finance, as well as he spent quite a few years in paralegal studies. And so guess what? He's also the founder of a still thriving nonprofit African-American organization called United African-American Men Incorporated, which started on the campus of Grambling State University. And I happen to be a longtime member of, because I was there on the first day we had our first meeting. So I want y'all to please say hello to Henry Garner and my man who just showed up, just out of the blue, Tony Davidson,
Yes,
native of Carson, now Vegas. He is
Tone Capone.
He's the brother that's making me look and sound a little better, because even though we kind of started out on the same at the same time with this, but Tony's gone. He's past me light years. Hell, I'm on his platform talking, and he's one of those California cats who's chilling in Vegas. And Tony's also a Gramblingite. Yes, y'all.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
biased. I got the Grambling
man
up in here, and we're gonna get another brother in here, and we're gonna start, I guess, continue the conversation. So what I want to do now, I'm gonna go ahead and get right into it. And I'm looking at my notes here. Hold on. Okay. What's up? Somebody just okay. Just
you lost Tone.
yeah, it looks like it. He got a little gunshot there. He said, "Me, I'm me." Hey guys, Rico, what's up? Hank, Tony D, what's up? Me and me. Oh, it's this you, Mary Max. What's up? Let's see who's Tony.
What's
Here
up,
is
Mary?
coming in. All right. So anyway, we're talking about Kamala. Let's start with that, and we'll work our way to other stuff. That seems to be the hot topic. Kamala Harris has been named the VP nominee for Crime Bill Joe, Jim Crow Joe, Dementia Joe Biden. You ain't black, Joe Biden.
Joe.
Yeah, you ain't black.
Excuse
You
me.
ain't black, Joe.
That
So
was
I want to hear your thoughts on her. Well, let me say this. I must hold on before you start. I want to say this. She's been receiving a lot of pushback. And in my opinion, rightfully so, based on her record. But let me say this correctly, because on my Facebook page, people have been were they innocent people who she arrested? If they committed the crime, they should do the time. I mean, just so minimizing, because it's black men that we're talking about. But we're talking about, she was doing her job. That's not our debate. We're not retarded. People aren't slow. People aren't ignorant to what people's jobs are in the criminal justice field. Our concern will be anybody's concern. And that is, are you fair in the arrests? Are you fair in the sentencing as it relates to, or as in contrast to their white counterparts, their Hispanic counterparts, and other counterparts? This is what the big hubbub is about. It's about unfair arrests and sentencing, and based on the stuff they were being arrested for. Now, go ahead, Hank. Let me hear what you have to say, and we'll get Tony's thoughts.
No, it's definitely been a lightning rod issue, at least within the last week, or ever since the announcement was made. I actually took a break from YouTube. I mean, not from YouTube, from Facebook this week, and kind of chimed in a little over 24 hours ago, and saw some posts that people had put up. I saw Mary had gone in on somebody that that actually came after me after I posted an article from Dr. T. Hassan Johnson on her record, and Mary was just killing them with the facts of, how she was in sentencing. Dennis had made a post earlier. I'm sorry, last week. It was last week. Dennis had a post talking about her record about sentencing women whose children were not going to school. And somebody came on my post and said that was a myth. And our good friend Mary Max, who's in here now, came back, was like, no, here's the truth. Here's the track record of it. Here's the information front and center. And then they came back and still were talking, well, like you said, if they had done the crime, or if they didn't do something wrong, don't worry about it, that kind of backpedaling Negro stuff. So, but to your point about, how this affects us as black men, I definitely feel that we should form a coalition that actively targets our specific interests as black men, because now is the time, because we actually have the microphone with everything that's going on. So we definitely should do that. So I'm all for it, but it's definitely some interesting times. Miss Harris has her work cut out for her. I'll say that. And for those who are fans of her, hey, go for it. No problem. I personally am not, and I have every reason not to be. So, it is what it is. So that's all I have for right now with Miss Harris.
Okay. Tony, what are your thoughts on her nomination?
I definitely have a couple of the same views as Hank there. My number one concern is, it's kind of like what you said. People want to overlook those stats and, kind of downplay or, the situation a little bit, when it is what it is. The issue I'm having is people are, on some things, shall I say, people are worrying about a what if with Trump, but we have the facts over here with Biden and Kamala, whatever she calls herself, Harris.
Kamala.
Yeah, her. But we have the facts on what they have done and continue to do, and they haven't tried to right some of that stuff either. You know, um,
Yeah.
like with Joe Biden, we understand he helped to right the crime bill. It wasn't just him solely. You know, both sides had to come to an agreement with that. But he had his hand in there, and you would think, you know, I guess maybe I'm thinking, if you knew all this wrong that you did to these black and Hispanic people, I would hell at least fake it and be like, hey, let me see if I can, you know, I'm gonna tell the people, uh, I'm gonna do what I can to
Mm-hmm.
try and fix that bill that I helped put out there, that law, I'm sorry. Uh, and the same thing with Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Like she feels, and a lot of black women feel that, hey, it's okay, yeah, lock you niggas up. We don't care.
Mhm.
You know, yeah, black girl magic and all that
Mm-hmm.
crazy shit. Like, you know, it's crazy. Like to me, it's like they really don't want us here. They want our
Right.
money and our penis, but after that,
Right.
nothing.
That's
And
weird.
and
Yeah. That's feminism.
Kamala, she might not want that because we see what she's married to. I can't say what she likes, you know, overall. I can just look and see, you know, she's married to that white guy there, and she seems pretty happy.
Yes. And or
Mm-hmm.
strategically happy. Because
Get
we
right.
have to,
Right.
That's a good
yeah.
point.
And thank you for that, Tony. You know, we have to also keep in mind that people know what they want to do years in advance. You know, even with the whole Obama thing, that stuff was he was groomed from a long time ago and sent to Chicago and given black cred, and all of a sudden, you know, and brought in him. Now I don't know about the pairing of him and Michelle. I don't know about that, but you can tell when someone's been groomed from the beginning, and if she made the right moves. Let me attend this historically black college. Let me join this black sorority, and let me try to get some black. Even though that's not who I am, but I can fake the funk, and people will believe it. And guess what? People have believed it, and that leads me into, you know, Kamala Harris. She ain't black, and people are
Mm-hmm.
arguing back and forth when she has never stated that she was black. I think Mary Mack shared with me that in her book, she said my mom knew I was going to raise two black girls. Well, that's all as part of it because people in politics. I think they plan way ahead and they put certain things out there, but also she kind of slipped when she kept referring to herself as, you know, South Asian, Indian, and I think a lot of black people need to go back to home ec and eighth grade biology to find out what race is and what
You
makes
know
a
what?
mixture and what makes a whole. But go ahead.
You know, you know what, Rico? She on her own video, she posted up. She stated confidently several times, "I am Indian," and I get it. They do have some that look
Mm-hmm.
like us. I totally understand that. I know that if they get pulled over, some of them will be um, treated and judged just like you and I until,
Yeah.
you know, they find out whatever later on. Totally get that. But
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't identify with us, in my opinion. She
Mm-hmm.
hasn't lived our struggle. She doesn't, you
Right.
know, I don't know. It's hard for me to identify with her, and I don't think it has anything to do with Greek or going to a black college. You
Yeah.
know, it's her and who she is, and that's fine if that's who she wants to be. I
Mm-hmm.
just need other people to also understand this is who she says she is, and you know, it is what it is.
Yes. You know,
I,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I'm just saying, I just hate that. You know, and it sucks. All this week, I'm like, damn, I feel like a target now, even more of a target, just because I know what her and Biden will do. It's like I don't feel that way with Trump. I know Trump is an asshole. You know, I get that.
Right.
But he hasn't passed any laws to screw us or anything like that. So,
Okay,
you know,
because it's lead me to, I think, my third question. Well, the first one was like opinions on current political climate. The current political climate, uh, it's hell. I think it's been rough since 2016. I want us to wrap up on that first one. Because I want us to jump those two topics. We went to Kamala, but the political climate. Would y'all think it's been rough since 2016, or since her nomination, all of a sudden it just started heating up, or just got turned up in the country, or and specifically in Black America,
Rough for who?
for turn up
Blacks
for
in
us.
general?
Yeah, because no, let me post. Did I post the question correctly or clearly? Let me do it again. Now I'm asking about the current climate, and I want to make sure we wrap that up in a way that we all have an understanding of what I'm asking. The current climate, do you think it's been rough, or kind of there's some uncertainty since 2016, or just has it kind of amped up since her appointment, or the announcement of Kamala becoming the nominee for vice president? Or is it just hell? It's been the
I
same
think
for
since
everybody.
well, with George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor and other killings that have happened in the last few months, that definitely has heightened things. Her appointment has merely displayed the fractures within our own unification. I'll say that. Because like Tone was speaking about, with women, they kind of identify her because she's a woman of, I'll say, a woman of color, because she doesn't even identify as Black, like you said. So when you point out those statements that she's made, or her actions toward people that they think look like her, and her record in California as a attorney general, prosecutor, what have you, it's not in our interest. So we as Black men rightfully have some trepidation about her being appointed as a vice presidential candidate. But Black women do not, because all they see is a woman of color, quote unquote.
Well, now they do
their agenda. We're like, hey. Yeah, now they do, but I'm saying, hey, you gonna sell us out just so you can have a woman in there pushing women's issues. I'm like, wait, back up. Like Tom said, Trump ain't really done nothing that negatively affected us, meaning Black men. I mean, or them for that matter. So I'm like, yeah, he's an asshole, but so what? What president isn't?
Yeah,
he's getting stuff done. So what, in terms of the political climate? Oh, this is only the beginning. It ain't even begun to get, quote, rough yet. But I'm glad it's happening, because I think now it's given us, or we Black men, the opportunity to say, okay, what do we want? Everybody else is going to their respective corners and getting their agendas out. Well, we got to do the same thing, and I think now is the time to do that. So discussions like this are needed.
Yes. Yeah, and let's go back to what I thought was very interesting is the demand for a Black woman. Sisters even gave at least 4 examples of Black women. I mean, Black women that are like me, you know, Whoopi Goldberg, Viola Davis. But I knew, me knowing the thinking of the Democratic Party and how they operate, how they roll. They don't do Black. They do mixed. They do biracial, because they know Black people will say, well, that's good enough. And so when they pushed her out there, 'cause I thought it was going to be a white woman with a lesbian husband. or a feminist black woman with a white female husband, or a mulatto.
A white woman with a lesbian husband.
Yeah, I mean that's how they roll. You know, the liberal agenda is pushing all of that.
All right.
That's how they roll. So and so that's how they roll. So I said, well, if they're gonna push so-called a so-called black woman, what they're gonna do is what they always do is Cory Booker black women. Give them an racially ambiguous person who's not. So it was between Susan Rice and Kamala. Well, due to the history of Kamala Harris's history of not having a problem with locking up folks and not having a problem with backing the police heavily, well, she was the better choice because she and Jim Crow Joe, Crime Bill 94 Joe, well, they worked great together. And so she's the best pick, even though she said to Joe's accusers, sexual assault accusers, I believe them. All of a sudden, all is forgiven. And that's something I guess we in our community as black folks have to realize how business works. Because they said some horrible things on the campaign trail to each other and about Joe Biden, but you know how they come together? Let's let bygones be bygones to get Trump out of office. That is the that seems to be the strategy for the Democrats, just to get Trump out of office. And I have yet for anybody to give me any political reason. Now I got a lot of personality reasons why they don't want Trump, but I cannot get any policy from anybody to say why he should be gone. And as black men, we can tell you why we don't want Kamala or Dementia Joe. And it goes back to I guess we've been hinting on it, but Joe Biden is the Democratic nominee. It is what it is.
Like, okay.
Yeah. It is what it is, and we understand how that works. Now, I want to say this to the Democrats out there. Y'all have been screwed twice. And all because the Democratic National Convention, the Democratic chair, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and others, they want a woman so badly for president that they ignored what the people wanted who are Democrats. They wanted Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders beat Hillary in all the races, primary races leading up to the convention. And I just thought it was amazing how I thought it was amazing how they switched the game up in the middle. I always thought that when you won a state, you got all the votes, you got all of the electoral votes. But let's say if a state, North Dakota had 6 electoral college votes, you won this state, you got all 6. But when they did it with Hillary and Bernie, he would win the state, and they would give him 4 other electoral colleges and give her 2. I said, when did they start doing it? I thought it was winner take all. And so I knew then. I said they're playing, they're doing some foolishness around here, and when they got down to it, they started taking stuff from Poe Bernie Sanders. And next thing you know, Hillary's out there, and Hillary could even garner the female vote because nobody likes Hillary. Women don't vote for women like that. And so now here we are again, because Bernie Sanders had the votes and everything to beat Trump in 2016. And here we are again. They still want a woman so badly that they screwed Bernie Sanders again. They brought Joe in later. Joe didn't even start in the beginning. He came in later on. All of a sudden, he just zoomed to the front. I said, that was amazing to watch. He zoomed to the front of the line, and then they just told Bernie, beat it. We're going to take this guy who has early stages of dementia, who says stupid things. We're going to make apologies for him. All while in the liberal media, we're going to make apologies for him. Yeah, he says things. Joe just kind of goes off, but we got to ring him in, and and it's okay. That's what they told us. But if Trump said anything huge, China, everything, they made it a whole goddamn editorial on the front page of whatever paper. And I said, wait a minute now. And so here we are now. Dementia Joe has been the nominee, and he had to pick a woman. He had to because that was part of the deal. Because what they're gonna do is they're gonna cheat. I'm telling you right now, they're gonna cheat Trump out of the election. They're gonna cheat him out because they want Joe to win, and they're gonna deem him incompetent after about 3 to 6 months in his first year, if not give him the first year. And then constitutionally, he will be deemed unfit. So that's how we're going to usher in our first woman president, because they cannot do it on their own because women won't even vote for women. See how that works,
Right.
Hank?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so I
You
just
ain't
need
me
the
arguing.
yeah, the Democrats need to come on, and black people need to get it together, and see how this thing works. Um, let's see. Amadi says 61% of white women voted for Trump. That's right, not Hillary. They were more concerned about white power. What are black women concerned about, and why? It's a great question. They're concerned about power for black women, like I've always said. This and people are saying there's a gender war going on. Black men aren't at one war, or in my opinion, black men are not at war with black women. Black women have been given, been shown that carrot, and they've been chasing that carrot by the white male power structure, and they've been given this false sense of empowerment. You hear me? Given, not fought for it and earned like people in a war do. You win a battle, you fight. Yelling and screaming and cussing people out doesn't win battles. So they've been given power, given under the system of white male domination since 1967 or when was the LBJ welfare reform? What was it called? That he began that, and the feminists were in their ears saying, "You can do
That
more.
was what
You can do this."
in the 60s, I think.
That was
In the
earlier
60s,
than that.
yeah.
Like 64, 63. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
No, JFK was still alive then. It had to be. It was after JFK's death, and Lyndon Baines Johnson did his welfare deal when he first introduced proposed the idea to Black American people, particularly Black Americans, telling women, "I got you. If you don't have a man there, we got these benefits for your housing, food stamps, welfare checks, and Section 8, and all this stuff." And then it deepened in the 70s as the feminist movement made its way in, through the civil rights movement and came on through the 70s, and sisters bought onto it. Up until then, brothers and sisters were together holding hands fighting. And so here we are today. And every time you look around, whenever the Democrats come to the black community, they never stop and ask black men anything, because they know this. Well, the past 50 years, these men been raised by women, so they're pretty much under the spell of the matriarchal Leviathan. They'll do whatever their women tell them to do. So they do not ask black men anything. Hence, the 8% to 9% black men who moved over to Trump in 2016. I think the number is higher. I don't have the exact number.
It's higher than that. Dennis did a talk on that. I wish he was on here.
Okay.
He said that to win, Biden and Senator Harris would have to get 65% of the black vote.
Yeah.
But about 12, he said, I think he gave the number at 12 to 15%.
Yeah. I said it last night on Tony's.
Of black men, had voted for Trump, had deviated. I think he gave a higher number than that, but at least we'll just stick with 12 to 15.
Between 12 and 15%, exactly. And guess what? More coming, more moving over.
Yeah, more moving over, right?
But
so, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, bro.
No, I was gonna say, so with that in mind, and then with what you see on YouTube, on Facebook, in the past week, I don't think they're gonna get 65% of the black vote. They may get 65% of black women, but they're not gonna get majority of black men,
because they're used to getting 88 to 95,
right.
94% of black men. But brothers are waking up, and
when they announced that she was the vice president candidate, I said the Democrats just lost.
Yeah,
I said, I was like, okay, what?
Mm-hmm.
They just handed Trump
No,
the election, which I was gonna say. Let me say this, Tone, and I'll be quiet. I was gonna say because um, if Trump stays in office, nothing really changes for us, meaning black men. Whereas if Biden and Kamala Harris get in, it's gonna be a different day. That's why I said, these types of discussions are necessary because it's going to force us to get our agenda together to say, hey, okay, because as you know, Rico and Tone, you know, with politics, it shouldn't matter who's in office. Our agenda is still our agenda if we have our stuff together. So I say this is the prime opportunity for us to get our stuff together and say, okay, what do we black men want? And now it's time to go to these politicians and start putting them in our pocket, so to speak, and get what we want. Because black women, they clearly doing it, and they doing it to some of it to the detriment of us as black men. It's like, hey, it's all about girl power or black girl magic and all this other witchcraft type crap that they spew out. But I was like, I get so sick of hearing that, but that's a whole nother argument. But go ahead, Tone. I'm sorry, you were about to say something.
No, I was saying that to me, when I seen the Democrats come out, to me they were just totally unprepared. And then I seen I didn't see it yet, but the mudslinging is coming.
Oh yeah.
But like Rico said, they had Bernie up there. Everything was going good. Biden didn't even want to run. He didn't even want to run.
Mm-hmm.
And then next thing you know, bam, he's up there. Now, how the hell is that going to work? Just that quick shift, and all of a sudden, people are, specifically our people are just totally riding this dude's genitalia tough. It's it's ridiculous, dude. Now, if he would have started the campaign, then I can see that, from way back when they started, announcing who's going to be running or whatever. If he was there from that point, then yeah, I could see people siding with him that way. But that anybody but Trump crap, it's not. I don't really believe it's going to work.
Yeah, you brought that up. Let's get into that. I want two things I want y'all to address. I don't care as long as it's not Trump. And the vitriol, that's what I call the shaming of anybody. You have to announce. It's not even probably your political choice, but if you bring anything to the table that sounds logical and you're posing questions about the two, and it doesn't sound like you are beating up on Trump, you're called a Trump supporter, and like that's an insult and attack. I don't know who told black folks they calling somebody a Trump supporter was the end of their life. But you're a Trump supporter, so they immediately write you off. And then I don't care what goes on as long as he's not in there. So y'all help me understand. Now these are black folks with master's degrees, PhDs, business owners. They have children, their mothers, their fathers. So explain to me what. And I'm going to throw out Trump derangement syndrome. What in the Trump derangement syndrome is this?
To me, Rico, it's nothing but pure hate. And for the record, I'll go out there and say I'm not a Trump supporter. I don't like all of the politics in the government. They're full of shit, in my opinion. I do know we need some type of structure, and all of that stuff. So I get it. I totally understand it. But it's just pure hate. And the fact that I even told people those two aren't the only two on the ballot.
Yeah.
I still get some kickback. You vote for those other people. That's like voting for Trump. No, it isn't. It's voting for those other people.
For that person, right?
Yeah. That's a wasted vote.
Yeah, and I also let them know, like we said last night, you need to vote for the person that has your best interest, meaning the taxes, the laws, all of that. Not just, he's black and, I'm going to go with him, or he looks blackish, right? Or Biden really struck a nerve with me saying, you ain't black, basically you ain't black if you don't vote for me, you're
You
not
don't vote
black.
for
And
me.
it's like, really? And this is coming from a Caucasian man?
Oh, it's
Right.
saying
You're gonna tell black people they're not black?
yeah,
Mhm.
but
That's
who's to
just
blame
like a
today?
big slap in the face.
Who's
And
to
then
blame? Hold
our
on.
But they
people
but
just,
they excuse that though. That's why
Yeah.
yeah,
Kamala's in
that's what
there.
I was getting. That's
Yeah,
what I
that's
was
her mea
getting at.
culpa.
Our people excuse it. They're like, oh, he just won't be, won't. Okay, he just said that. That's fine. But you don't say that when other people just say that. They take it to the extreme. For instance, the president, he says a lot of crazy shit at times, just straight up. The
Yes.
dude's mouth, he's reckless at the tongue.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like
Excuse me.
they don't excuse his words, but they excuse others. And it
Yes.
just doesn't make any sense. Like either you excuse them all or none.
Yes.
If they both do bad, then acknowledge that. Just don't sit here and downplay, this guy
Ignore.
because you hate him. Yeah, if you hate him, that's fine. That's cool. Go on about your business. But you know, like we were saying the other night, the voter suppression thing, that it's crazy, man. You're getting shamed for your choice. That makes zero sense.
Mhm. That's that
But
emotionalism that we've been bound to since time immemorial. I'm like, okay, so now the the ballot box is the pulpit at church.
mhm,
You know, everything is off emotion.
yes.
But I'm like, okay, because I disagree with your opinion. Like you said, Rico, now I'm being shamed. I'm not black. I'm not this. You got a black-ish woman in office,
Mhm.
and I disagree with her stance on how she treats my demographic. So I'm just supposed to ignore her her record that I can go look at and deal with, like you said, dementia
Yeah.
Joe, who told you not even what 2-3 weeks before that I wasn't black if I ain't vote for him. What?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have time to
Let's
talk to
get
people
it.
like
Let's
that.
get back into the minimizing of what people say. And I'm tell you some of the stuff I witnessed, read on Facebook, and these were men as well as women.
Mhm.
If your mama's black, your grandmama's black, and your mama's black, your sister's black, you should be supporting a black woman. Man, um, now y'all want to hate on a black queen. Now she's at the
Yeah.
table. Y'all want to hate on a black queen. And if you like black women, prove it. I said, these
Mhm.
people have got to be out of their damn minds. But people fall under this hypnosis every 4 years, and I'm talking about our community because other people are gonna do what they're gonna do. I'm always gauging the behavior of black people every 4 years. We act as if we don't have governors, mayors, city council persons, school board, and
Mhm.
or aldermen's running for office. We go straight for the presidency. I don't know how that happens. Like that's so important. But and then all of a sudden we get people all of a sudden now because you hate Trump so bad you become global. I'm worried about how the world views America. Really, you're global now? All because of Trump? You care
Mhm.
about what goes on in the world now. And the world has always had a problem with America because America's always been kind of bullyish. And believe it or not, they were most bullish under the Democratic Party because Bill Clinton didn't have a problem with shooting up Gaddafi's house when he got caught getting head from Monica Lewinsky. He did that as a diversion,
Mhm.
and they've always used the military at their leisure. However, people haven't been paying attention. Trump doesn't like to go to war. He doesn't. He's forced in by the never Trumper Republicans. And the Democrats are pushing because they have what's called economic interests in other countries. And Trump just wants America to make more money for Americans.
Yeah, he's a bottom line guy.
Yeah, he said, look, we need people over here we need people over here. We need people over here, Americans to be working. And people not even paying attention. He's trying to get all those companies that went over there. Um, okay, Ramon. But he's trying to get Americans working. And that's what it's been doing. All those little countries that's in Mexico and all over. He's trying to get GM. He's trying to get Levi, Adidas, all those folks back over here so people can work. How come nobody's paying attention to that? Yeah, he said America's first, but at some point, it's interesting how black folks are Americans when it's convenient, or when they're mad at Trump, and we're part of the huge, larger collective when it's convenient. And if you're gonna say you're an American, well, goddamn it, act like it. Let's all fight for him making those American corporations bring those jobs back over here. And number two, the whole thing about the immigrant. It's funny to see all these black folks all on the front line fight for people who don't even mention them when they do their own little movements. You don't have Mexican immigrants, everybody say black and brown people. But you have Negroes everywhere. You know, he's attacking black and brown people. Man, did y'all see the Hispanics at the White House getting some major legislation signed by this president? And Negroes have said, I'm not going up there to talk to him. Hell, even the homosexuals go get something from Trump. And he don't even mention them. So this weirdness that
they got everything they wanted from Obama. So
they got everything they wanted from Obama. They're gonna get something from Trump. Because we don't seem to understand this thing is not about who's the president. It's about how you address business, how you approach business. That's what these politicians are for. They're not for you, for us to cook a barbecue and you invite them over and they come and do the electric slide with us. What's wrong with the American Negro?
Excuse me.
Hell, they can, like Dr. King went and saw and had meetings with the most racist, the meanest Southern Dixiecrats and all kinds of folks. But thank y'all, and y'all can thank him now for your so-called civil rights. He had to meet with those racist people. And here we are in 2016 and 2020. I'm not going up there to meet with him. And anybody that goes to the White House, y'all cancel them. You call them bootlickers. You call them Uncle Toms. That's the weirdest shit on the planet. And then y'all want to be mad because he didn't go to John Lewis's funeral. He wasn't supposed to. John Lewis said every time he got on The View or any other press conference, I don't like that mother lover. Damn Trump. He's this, that, and the other. So, come on. What y'all expect? But that was just my little rant to get into just questioning our behavior, how we don't understand business. As soon as that Pavlovian signal is given, we start barking like a dog. You know, meaning when the Democrats ding, 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 all of a sudden Negroes just roar. That's not how it's supposed to work. We're supposed to be about their business. And sisters they just been coddled and entertained and patronized and till they're drunk with this false sense of power. Is mainly narcissism and egotism. And they don't even know. And I said, did y'all see that little bit right there? They told y'all that y'all don't run nothing. Y'all even got some beta male simp ass black dudes following Puff Daddy to try to demand this president get y'all a black woman. He said, no, y'all don't know how we work, dude. We don't know how. Watch us work. Democratic Party was telling black women, we're gonna give you a mulatto and you're gonna like it, damn it. Well, you know, at least you're a woman of color, at least you're a minority. Yeah. So anyway, that's just my rant on that. And how we're falling out on Facebook. It's weird. Because after the election
battle this week.
Oh man, it was terrible. And I mean, my page, I was on other page, but my page brought everybody out. You know, my Tony and Hank, my page on Facebook is like when Smokey said in the movie Friday, you know, that we be letting you know. And my post be letting me know who is who, because some people have acted so poorly in their behavior on their posts, been saying some of the almost damn near unforgivable things. I'm like, God damn, we don't have to like us. Go ahead.
You David Ruffin on Facebook. Everybody coming to see you. Everybody coming to see you, Ricky.
Shit.
Me and Tone, just the Temptations. Everybody coming to see you, Rico.
Yeah, you wish y'all can work it like I do. I'm just saying. It's weird, man. And so let's get into anything else on this part about our behavior and how we don't seem to vet these candidates, and how and thirdly, under that, I think how we just seem to have this blind loyalty to the Democrat or the Democratic Party. Any more thoughts on that, gentlemen?
Nah, that'd be a whole nother conversation. Now you and I talk about it all the time. Is as our good brother Claude Anderson and Powernomics, Rico, as I hold up the book that people need to read.
Oh, what's his name?
Talk about that. Dr. Claude Anderson.
Dr. Claude, that's right.
Yeah, man. I'm like, we got to learn how to vote in blocks and use our vote strategically, not emotionally, which is what what we're doing right now. It's an emotional. I can't even call it a debate. Tirade is the best way I can put it. That we're seeing right now. So when people like us get together and try to debate cogent, points, people just get emotional, like, oh, anybody but Trump. I'm like, okay, my dog can run for president, and y'all vote for it, huh? So.
But guess what they said? I take a mosquito or a dog. I'm like, my God. That's how we do. We're intelligent people.
That's political naivete ain't even the word. Man, ignorance is what that is.
It's terrible. It is terrible how we behave. I said, dang. All right. I mean, I want somebody black to tell me, how does this particular white man muster up so much vitriol? And I'm not defending them. I'm just curious. I said, well, I have my issues with him. I don't hate that white man. I mean, we've had 43 other white presidents who want shit. So what is it that's so different about him? Yeah, he talks shit. I think it's funny. And of course, I think it's hilarious how he handles the press. Trump ain't taking your shit. You're not finna sit there and talk crazy to them. I saw him walk out the press conference. I understood. He's like, look, I'll fuck it all. I'm out of there. Who's this? Oh, you got a Tony on another thing now?
Yes. Yep.
All right. So let me remove this. All right. Okay. There you go. And so, yeah, man, it just and I'm not approving of all this behavior, but I understand alpha male behavior, and I need more black men to think as alpha males, which brings me to this.
Just masculine, period.
Just masculinity, period, when it comes to this whole political process. My question to you guys in the chat room, y'all hold tight, because I'm going to get your questions and comments. If y'all have any questions for the gentleman on here, let me know. I'm going to put a link in the chat room so I can get you on. And y'all can pose a question and let me hear. Okay, Dennis. What's up? Dennis has made it. Dennis has made it. What's up? Y'all see what's up to Dennis?
Hayward had a good
What's up, Dennis? What's up, brother?
And I'm going to get you on, Dennis. Hold on, bro.
Hayward had a good one. He said we need to address the overuse of the term king and queen without proper justification.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're very loose with those words.
Dennis, hit that link under my name real quick and come on in, man. And this is my fourth brother, and we're gonna get his take on some things. And before I pose that first question, and also I'm gonna run a couple of questions. If Dennis makes it on, I want him to kind of give his spiel on what we talked about. But you are correct what Hayward Sinclair said. I saw it. He said, yeah, we have to address that, and can we do that towards the end when we get through talking about, I guess, about us in particular. Guys, can we run back that? I'm gonna let Hayward come on.
That's cool.
I'm gonna let Hayward come on and pose that question and run that statement by, as well as I see Mimi and I see Amadi, folks on here, and everybody's coming in. Thank y'all so much. And Dennis, there's a link there, brother. If you can click on that and come on in. But anyway, I want to let's see if he's gonna. But in the meantime, y'all. Because we just went over, I think I didn't even have to ask the question. I think we already answered it. Black men supporting Trump, how and why? We just went through that. Because I personally think yeah, man. I think one thing that has been drawing black men to Trump is the alpha male energy. One thing about, and the conservative energy, and I think a lot of black men don't want to say out loud that they have what's called conservative tendencies. And when we say conservatives, we tend to think about, white wing Christian racist stuff. But for me, who's come out of the proverbial closet as a conservative, I'm saying it out loud, I am a conservative. Meaning in the sense that, um, when we look at our people when we first came here as Africans, and enslaved Africans, and when we were freed allegedly in 1865, and all of the lessons that were taught to us as it relates to expectations and behaviors in our race, and how we supposed to behave with each other. Grandfather would say, young men, a man is supposed to do this. A man goes out and works and earns and protects and provides for his family. And the mother would say, young ladies are supposed to behave this way and this. So to me, gentlemen, that is conservative behavior. Welcome, Dennis. And I can hear you in the background, Dennis. I can hear your microphone.
What's up, man? I just turned your YouTube broadcast off. Well, hey, fellas, how you doing? What's going on?
Good evening. Good evening.
What's up, Dennis? What's going on, brother?
So, man, thank you,
man.
Thank you for making it. I know it's a struggle, and I'm gonna have to shave off the first 14 minutes. Don't nobody want to see me struggling to get this damn thing together. So well, I've joined in, and you got my man Tony here. Tony and I, we're walking this path together. I'm trying to get this thing perfected, and I'm really learning a lot from Tony because he's bought him a new beautiful mic and everything. And you got Hank up here.
Brother President.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I introduced them, so I want to introduce you as we continue. This is Dennis Sperling, y'all. Dennis Sperling is an attorney. He is an outspoken advocate for Black men and the freedoms of Black men they probably didn't think they had or knew they had. And he's also an outspoken advocate for fatherhood and being head to household. And he is what do you call it? What branch of law, Dennis?
I practice civil litigation, but as a disclaimer, the first thing the audience needs to know is that we've been knowing each other 30 years. Me, you, and Hank. I'm pretty much already going to agree with what you're saying. So I don't know what's been said, but I already agree. So it's like, this is not coming. It's not going to be it's going to be a co-signing session.
It's a Grambling reunion up in here. So
that's right. And Dennis is also Grambling State University and Southern Law School. Is that Tulane LLM, Dennis?
Yeah, the LLM is from Tulane. Yeah.
And Dennis is also a member of United African American Men.
Hey.
So yeah,
I was about to say he's a former past president,
third president or something like that,
and a past president. So I picked this group on purpose.
He was president after I graduated.
I picked this group on purpose. And I'm telling y'all, and I may pick more, and that's my strategy because I'm not in the mood for the bullshit. I don't care if you disagree. I know people say, well, you want to hear people that you disagree from. I see a lot of YouTube folks who do that, and that's awesome. But I have an agenda. My agenda is to teach and educate. That's my agenda, and I need the men on here who can teach other men. And we don't all have to agree. We just chuckled about it, but I know there's some things we disagree, but it's nothing that we disagree with vehemently that we have. When we get off this damn platform, we're shaking. Like, I can't believe Dennis said this shit. I thought we was cool. Hank went there. Goddamn. Really, Tony, bro? We talk all the goddamn. So, but the thing is, I think we're all mature men and men who accomplished men in our own rights. And that's why I chose you guys for my first panel discussion. It's a young brother that I chose. Frank, if he ever comes on, I want him, younger brother. But Dennis, we were talking about, and I want to give you an opportunity just to kind of go over them really quick. It's under the guise of the current political climate. How do you think that impacts the lives of Black men? And number two, Joe Biden as the Democratic nominee and slash Kamala Harris. Then we were just wrapping up having a conversation about Black men supporting Trump, 12 to 15%, how and why. So kind of run through those if you will. Let's hear your thoughts on. Let those who are in attendance hear your thoughts.
Well, I think the quickest point is black men supporting Donald Trump, and they did so in the last election in 2016. Interestingly enough, I think about 12% admitted that they supported Trump, and then there was about another 6% that wouldn't say in the exit polls, which lets me know they probably supported Trump too. So it's my opinion that black men probably supported Trump even in the last election up to 20%, 12% of which admitting so, and the other 6% not willing to admit so, because you know how it is. There's a stigma associated with voting Republican. And so I think the reason that they voted for Trump is, number one, black people really, especially black men, we didn't really like Hillary Clinton, because if you're my age, you remember when she referred to young men our age as super predators, and that Joe Biden, Bill Clinton crime bill that they signed back in 1995. So that has always left a bad taste in our mouth. And then so now fast forward, you got Joe Biden and Kamala Harris running on the same ticket from the Democratic Party. Now let's just erase Kamala Harris's racial identity. Okay. And let's look at her record as a prosecutor. Let's say she was a white woman and she had locked up more black men than anybody else in the state of California, that she failed to prosecute cops who've been found to convict black men. She sent 2 black men, or at least 1 black man, to death row who had evidence that would have exonerated him. What would we be saying about a white woman like that?
Rich, racist,
hey, you know what?
Right.
The black man might take your side with that, but with some of our sisters, I wonder they might be okay with that.
They might be okay with that because they see black. Unfortunately,
today,
a lot of them see black men as disposable.
Definitely,
they see us as a means to an end. They see us as a stepping stone. I hate to say that, but there's that out there. There is that. We're used in this society like batteries and discarded. Black women have sons get shot, sons get murdered. A settlement comes up, who's get paid? The mom. They get paid for child support, they get paid for welfare. And and they also get, other intangible benefits like attention. Oh, that's my son. If you do well, you get to the NBA. Oh, you the king of the castle and all that. We've seen that play out in movies like Boys in the Hood, where you got one son who is going to college and doing things and a star football player, and another one who's a drug dealer, gangbanger. Yes, she's using him for the money he brings into the house, but she treats him bad. And then what happens when boys turn 17 to 18 and the welfare and the child support cut off? They get kicked out. That's why we have so many young black men who go out, commit crime, end up in jail, get out, don't have anywhere to go, and you see them under these bridges and these homeless shelters. Look at the number of black men who are homeless right now. And ask yourself, where are these young men's families? Where are the people that they're supposed to be able to fall back on? And unfortunately, they don't have that. And so when I say all that, I say that as black men, you are treated as a disposable commodity. And if you don't pay out in the end, then you get discarded. I know that. I recognize that. Many of us, 17, 18, 19 years old, we start feeling the heat from our moms. And our mom's like, you got to go. I don't know about y'all's experience, but that was my experience. And lo and behold, if I hadn't become who I am today, let's say I'm living in my mama's house at 40-something years old. Oh, it's going to be bad. You see what I'm saying? And the same goes for 30. So, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't want to get out and be on your own. I'm just saying as black men, we have to recognize that we are considered a disposable object in this country, item, and we always have been. But at this point, Trump has given us a reason to assert ourselves. Mm-hmm. Trump is saying, you know what? And I'm gonna tell you like this: I haven't voted for Trump. I don't plan on voting for Trump. As a matter of fact, I'm probably not voting for either one, Biden, Trump, or any of them. I'm going to use my opportunity not to vote as my voice. But the bottom line is, man, black men like Trump because he speaks up for himself. He doesn't care what people say. He stands his ground. He speaks up for himself, whether you agree with him or not. And, he speaks up for himself. And unfortunately, a lot of us didn't have men like that in our family that we could pull from, and we gravitate to what we see because men follow strength. They don't follow titles. They don't follow pizzazz. They follow strength, and he's projecting strength. So that's my quick opener on that, man.
Okay. And I think you touched everything, the Kamala, the Joe Biden, and all of that. But what I want to get
Rico, could I say one thing? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Just for the record, because I know how our folks can be, but for the record, just to let the sisters know, I do not believe that all sisters want us dead. You know how they like to run with things, so you have to clarify it and put it out there and let it be known.
Right.
You mean the not all police?
Right, the not all police. Right, and also for the record, I know a lot of great Black women, but I also know some bad ones. And right now, in my opinion, the bad ones, not just the ones I know, they stand out like a sore thumb. So, but just for the record, to make that clear, because I know how they would like to come back at you, Rico, and come back at you.
Well, they're not on. I don't think those women are not on here, and Tone, I couldn't care less.
Right.
Because my concern is, at least, well, I'm not even gonna say it. You know what I mean? I tend to pay more attention to them on Friday and Saturday nights after 9. After my double shot apple crown.
I mean, I get it. I just wanted to put it out there because I've had a few conversations with women and they go that route. Oh, you're saying all women? No, I'm not. No, and we're never.
And just to clarify, I wasn't saying all women want Black men dead. I'm saying they see us in this culture, in this society. They see us as disposable.
Oh, definitely.
They see us as tools to be used. Definitely. They don't value us for our individuality and who we are as an individual. They value us for our utilitarian purposes. How much do you make? How tall are you? Because see, if you're tall, handsome, you can give them a cute baby, whatever. Okay, that's some utilitarian. How much money do you make? Where do you? Not who are you as a human being? Not what are your interests? What are you like? See, those are the questions that are reserved for women. You got to get to know her. You got to ask her this and ask her that. You don't know me because you don't know my deepest, darkest, most intimate thoughts of, they don't want to know all that about you. They want to know them figures. How tall are you? How much money you make? So, that just lets you know. I think Chris Rock said it the best. A man is only loved. Women and children and dogs are loved. Men are not.
Right. Women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally.
And that goes double for Black men.
Unconditional. There you go.
Men are loved with conditions.
Right.
That's what he was getting at. But I wasn't going at you, Dennis. It was just something I said, and I didn't want people to take it the wrong way. I definitely agree with what you said, but we have to go we have to go around clarifying things for certain folks because they tend to act like they don't understand what a general statement is, even though they know what it is, and they'll repeat one with the quickness. But
man, I got a list of that stuff. I got a list of responses to all of that on my Facebook page. I'm going to email that to y'all.
Right.
Okay, and I don't want to waste any more time.
Yeah, please do.
I don't want to waste any more time on that because the thing is, I don't think women are stupid. I don't think they're retarded. I don't think anything. I've listened to them since I was officially 12 years old, and they're very deliberate. And I know the society they will live in. They're coddled and entitled and narcissistic and ego-driven. And so anything that sounds like it's not going in their way, they act like Jews and they act like LGBT. They're gonna get on your ass. And so therefore, I mean personally, I don't waste my breath doing clarity because I know they know exactly, just like when, let's say, for example, Nick Cannon is getting in trouble for saying the direct truth, what he knew, but they don't want you to say anything about them. And so they're coming at them all kinds of ways. And so I learned by listening. And then I also heard when they had this fight for equality. So I deal with women and men equally. So if men aren't coming out saying, well, I don't like what you said, that I don't give them that leeway either. But I know It's just in us. We can't help it, Tony. It's in us,
right?
We can't help it, but I know it. But it can be worked out, bro. It's not being mean to them, and because you learn. You know who get the most women. The ones like, I don't give a fuck about that bitch. Those are the ones who get all the women. And those of us who who are taught to care, well, we kind of catch a little bit. But anyway, those not sour grapes for anybody. It's just reality when you start getting that red pill and you start seeing it for what it is. And so my next question, and all that we've all said and what Dennis wrapped up is, do y'all think black men it's far time that we start looking at us or start pursuing us as or pursuing protective status in this country? Y'all think it's past time that we start doing that because everyone else seems to have it, or become a protected class?
So when you're saying protected
class, like you can't say tranny for transgenders.
Oh, but just being
N-word. Yeah,
just being PC.
No,
protected
correct? Class.
Oh,
protected class like Jews, LGBT.
Women, okay.
African American women. You say anything about them, you got an onslaught.
That's the bullshit, dude. And I hate it because they're quick to shit on us and they don't give a damn about it. They'll tell you in a minute, right to your face, when you're having your best day or your worst day. So, I mean, you should be able to just roll off whatever it is. Protect what?
Politically, let's go right to protected class. And I'm going to use the trend, the LGBT. I was watching Law and SVU last night, and this it was an episode of this little black boy was messing with this transgender white kid. Him and a whole group of them came, and they looking on his dress and messing with him and bullying him and teasing him. And then the transgender white kid was all over him, like, give me my camera back. He said, get off me. And he pushed him, and he accidentally pushed him over a bridge. And the boy died 2 days later from that. And they went through the court proceedings. The little boy's 15 years old, a little black boy. He said, I'm sorry. He said all of that. And even his parents didn't want him punished because they saw that he was really sorry. He didn't mean that. And they had letters. His teachers came and spoke in behalf. And it's like, the judge was feeling bad, but the judge said they have proven that you have good character. They have proven that you didn't mean it in your heart. However, I cannot let this slide. As him being a part of a protected class, I have to make a point to make sure that this won't happen again. So you will get, you got a 7-year sentence. 15 years old to 18 years old, you're going to this boys' jail. Then at 18, you finish out the rest of your 7-year sentence in an adult prison. Tony, that's what I'm talking about. If someone attacks black men or if someone says something derogatory to us in the media, shouldn't we have a fence built around us where that can be rectified as quickly as Nick Cannon has been put in check, or anyone else has been put in check when they're talking about Jews or gays? That's what I'm asking. So, guys, should we be working towards, and all the stuff that happens to black men and all the stuff that's said, should we be working consciously as a group to become a protected class in this country?
We got to protect ourselves.
Right. There you go. Yeah, I would say we need to focus on our own interests. So like Tone said, we can protect ourselves, but I understand the legality and the political aspect of it. But that's going to come from what we're doing right now, is coming together, discussing issues from our unique perspective and what that looks like. What will come out of this could be the beginnings of a black male agenda or a heterosexual black male agenda. You're so fond of saying, Rico.
Yes, right. Heterosexual masculine.
So yes, I think we should work in our own best interest. So we can get to that point where, if somebody say, man, I ain't got time to be talking to them North Memphis cats, then we can jump on them and be like, Rico, my boy, whatever. Mm-hmm. So, but I definitely think we need to worry about ourselves, focus on us and our needs. I definitely do. That's the case.
I think if we show unity between us, just us men, then maybe people outside of us might come to help or be a little bit more aware of, you know, how they talk to us and talk about us. But I mean, as long as we're beating each other up, killing each other, you know, nigga, and all of that, you know, publicly, it's rough.
Right.
Dennis, what do you think?
Hey, Rico.
Man, I think that the first thing, I don't think we can be a protected class until we start getting on the same page and protecting our image when it's attacked. Like, the minute somebody says something bad about a black man, I don't care if he's dead wrong, caught red-handed, you find a reason to defend him, period. Because when you attack one of us publicly, you're attacking all of us publicly. That black man is being attacked as a proxy for the rest of us. They see us as all one big Negro, you see? And so when you recognize that racism is a team sport and you are automatically on the same team with the other people that look like you, you'll fall in line. And so that's why, as you know, on my page, I don't attack black men. A brother could be dead wrong. I'm still not going to attack it. I do the same thing that I find that what white people do. They make excuses for people to go in churches and shoot them up and kill them. Oh, he must have had a mental issue, or he'd been depressed, or what's that other word? This young kid out here, the rich kid, affluenza or something like that. The rich kid. Yeah, he killed a whole bunch of people in a drunk driving accident while picking the truck. They find a reason. So what you brothers have to do is find a reason to say something positive, even about a negative situation, to the point that it's even absurd. And you have to push and push and push and push. There are 20 million black people in America. I mean, 20 million black, 25 million black men in America. If each and every time somebody says something negative about a black man, we took to Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and start putting this reverse anti-propaganda statements out, it would flood the airwaves, and then our message would get out, and they would eventually get the point. You can't say anything about black men without them causing your website to fail. You see? Yes. So
and it's interesting that you say that, because I'm thinking a lot of my lives, I've always said, I use the term build a fence. We need to build a fence around our black boys and black men. But first, I would say build a fence around our race as a whole. But I always get into black men and black boys. We need to build a fence. And when I say that, I don't know if people understand what all that entails. Just like you said, Dennis and Tone, and you mentioned tweeting, and I always say writing blogs, writing papers. We have these scholars out here who have come to the forefront, like Brother T. Hassan, and we got the Dr. Tommy J. Curry, and we got what's called the Hood Scholar, and I have all these wonderful guys on my page, and you got Dennis pages all over the place. He all on TV and shit getting questioned about what he's saying on behalf of brothers.
They try.
And we all need, you know what, and Dennis is the new generation of The Voice. I'm just saying this, not just because he's here. I say it because I believe it. He's the new generation of voice of more black men that should be coming out. And just say something. We didn't ask you to start a revolution, but just say something. Because I find it most amazing that when a feminist tweets some BS against black men, that damn thing is shared about 20,000 times.
That's true.
It just all over. I said, how the fuck did hold on, Tony, don't forget. I said, I just feel like this shit is done on purpose. I know for a fact there are black men who say some very some very intelligent things on Twitter and Instagram, but they don't get around as much as when a black feminist or an ignorant Caucasian says something derogatory or stereotypical about heterosexual masculine black men. Am I tripping? Go ahead, Tony.
No, I was just agreeing with you, Rico. That's all.
Am I the only one who sees it? I said, damn, how come? And then we share that bullshit. We share it.
You know, they share it with pride. I mean, it's happy face emojis, everything. You know, it's sad because it's like they're, like I said earlier in the beginning of your show, they're like just okay with us not being here, man. As long as we provide penis and paper, that money.
And I think we should have. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Like Dennis said, it's a utilitarian. Like Dennis said, we utilitarian. You know.
Yeah, and it's sad, and sometimes it hurts. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, that's all we good for, really. And I mean, I know, you know, we fellas, we like sex, all of that. That's true. You know, we don't have to dance around that. But we like the ladies, you know, for other things. We like them to like us for other things. You know, that utility.
Let's get up to this, because I wanted us to continue to have this understanding while we're here. This is a question that probably should have been asked probably after the second question, but because we're in a political season, Democrat, Republican, Independent, and people are throwing out Kanye. They'll say, "Well, vote for Kanye then." Well, who gives a damn, about that statement? But are we? What did I say? Are we aware that? And how can I say? When are black men gonna realize that the Democratic Party has no use for us except for when it's time to vote? And why don't they ever come to us and ask us for a vote?
The women hold the power in the community. That's usually how, they're running to them. They spend all the money and everything. They control a lot, more than what they think. Especially the vote. It's more women voters than men. I mean, if I was a politician, I'm going after the women too. Let's just call it what it is.
And I guess those folks, and I said it earlier, and it bears repeating, and I'm keep saying this, and because other folks may see this. Again, we've been under the 50-year spell of the matriarchal Leviathan, and they know that black men are automatically beholden to our women. So I think they will not come to us directly because they know that we're going to vote the way our mothers, our grandmas, our daughters, and our wives and girlfriends are going to vote.
Not me. That's changing. Hey, look, that's changing.
Me either.
That used to be how it was.
Yeah.
But you got a virulent strand of black men who's saying, the hell with all of that.
Yes.
Matter of fact, we don't have nothing to do with your political affiliation or anything. Matter of fact, we're gonna vote our own interests. Matter of fact, I could go on and on about that subject. You know how my page is.
Yes.
Man, I got some dudes on there that I wish you would tell them that they follow and they doing what they mom and man, look, let me tell y'all something, because I can't be up there. I got my baby sick. I got to give him another breathing treatment,
Oh, wow.
on daddy duty. But the climate is changing, man. That used to be that's a thought pattern from 20 or 30 years ago. These brothers are tired of getting kicked. They tired of being disrespected. They've seen how other men around the world are being treated. They've seen that all they got to do really is step up and take their power, and there's really nothing anybody can do about it. They can't beat us. These women can't beat us up. They can't make us do anything. The most they could do is try to guilt us and shame us. But then after a while, when you stop caring what they think, it's nothing they can do with you anymore. And hell, don't run out there and get you a Becky or a Maria or Lynn. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't even got it. All you need is a haircut in the hood. You see what I'm saying?
Mei Ling.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So it's changing, man. And that's another reason why you got so many black men who are no longer under the spell of the Democratic Party. It used to be blasphemous to say, "Oh, I'm voting Republican." Now, brothers like, you know what? I might do it. I'm not saying I will, but I'm not saying I wouldn't vote Republican depending on the Republican. You see what I'm saying? It depends on him and who he is. Now, I can't vote for a white supremacist racist. That's why I just can't vote for Trump, period. Sorry, I can't do it. I can't vote for an open white supremacist racist.
What about a closed one?
That's why I can't vote for Biden ass either. Excuse me for cussing. You see what I'm saying? So what am I supposed to do? You know, y'all mad at me for not for posting stuff up saying what Kamala Harris did. She don't even claim to be black. If you look at the woman's birth certificate, it says she's a Caucasian, from what I understand. So, but nah, man, all that is changing. And you brothers, man, and I ain't gonna hold this thing up, brother, because like I said, I gotta get up out of here. But y'all claim your ground. You stand up like men. You stretch your backbone out. You speak like men. You say what's on your goddamn mind. And I don't care what anybody got to say. You make all these cackling women sit their ass down. And if they don't like what you say, you make them cover their ears up. But you are a black man. You assert yourself. You speak your mind. You love yourself. You respect yourself and you respect your brother. And stop letting these women get between you and your fellow black brothers, because all they do all the time is keep up mess and keep us fighting against each other. It is the black man that needs to lead the black community, if it's left, out of the slums that it's in. It's strong, assertive black man. I don't care how tall you are. I don't care how big your muscles are. It's your voice I want to hear. I want to hear your strong, assertive voice. Stop begging these women for their validation and appreciation. That's the opposite way of it's supposed to go. They supposed to be begging you and asking you if it's okay. But we flipping the script and got them. They the ones in charge. Hell with that shit. They ain't ran shit but they mouth for the past 50 years, and you see what that's done. And so anyway, that's all I got to say, brother. I'm about to slide on up out of here.
Okay, don't go too far. Dennis, don't go too far.
Okay, all right.
Don't go too far.
I got it. You got something else for me, bro?
I'm just saying, just in case, because I put the link out there if anyone would like to ask a question of anybody on the panel.
Okay.
Or just
I can answer via text message. If I really need to come back, I can. But man, I want to go ahead and let you enjoy. Thank you for inviting me. Hank, good seeing you, Tony. Great meeting you, man.
Right on.
You cool. I'm gonna get on up out of here, man.
You as well, Dennis. Keep doing your thing, brother.
I will.
And Dennis, you and I get on and talk. In the future, I want to have you on, talk to you about stuff.
Yes, sir. No problem, man.
Hey, Dennis, I friended you on Facebook too. It should be your most recent request.
Okay, cool. But I got like 3 different ones. I'm gonna look for you. Okay, brother.
Right on, man. Good to meet you.
Man. I'll be getting good off like 30 days.
Like Rico,
30 days. I'll be getting anyway, I'll talk to y'all later.
All right.
Okay, Tony.
All right, man. Take care, brother.
Tony, finish your point that you're about to make.
Oh no, that was it. I was just one to holler at Dennis right quick to let him know I've friended him on Facebook.
Okay, let me see if anybody's in the chat room who'd like to come on and share your thoughts or pose a question to anybody on the panel. Please go ahead and hit that link that's under the Rico the Opinionist. That's me. Hit that link and come on in. We'd love to hear what you have to say. We've been reading your messages. And Ramon, what's his name? Haywood Sinclair, if you still here, brother? I haven't seen him. It's been going on a minute. If you're still here, I'd like to hear what you have to say. We'll give him a minute. But in the meantime, let me put it up here again in case folks probably. Let's see, what is it?
Did you post it in Facebook, Rico?
Post what on Facebook? The link, yeah, it's all on my page. So
okay.
Yeah, they got it. So those who don't come, I sent it all out in Messenger too. That's how I got a couple of these folks. And one day, these 7 folks must be us. we must be the 7 folks that's in here. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, and the other 3 who are talking as far as protected class? I see the comment says if you all like to. I'm sorry. So if a protected class was created for Black men, what would that look like? And how is it created and by whom? I think if you were listening, J Love Infinite, what's up? We just pretty much went over how it can be done. There's basically Black men standing up and speaking up for each other and correcting all those who try to come at us sideways through Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, writing articles, blogs, and to those who are scholarly, college students, master's degree, PhD, or bachelor's level, write papers on behalf of us. That's how that's that thing, getting that information out there. And I always encourage Black men, write something, put a YouTube video out, do a tweet, a Facebook post, something. Because one thing about it, when you go up and look up information, you click on such and such, and all that tagging, well, that brings up counter arguments. It's like when you say who this is. This is Ramon wants to come in and share something. Oh shit! Well, Mr. Haywood Sinclair.
My brothers, what's it doing? What it do? What it be like? Tony,
Ramon, what's up, brother?
Rico!
What's up, Grand Fam?
Oh, what's up, bro?
My brothers and Dennis, my main man, 50 grand here in H-Town. It's good to see the brothers coming together as we continue with this extension of what we trying to do, man. Just glad to be on, with the current. I'm driving, so y'all forgive me if you hear a whole lot of rigmarole, because I had to go get some water. We got to stay hydrated.
That's right.
Okay.
Up in here. So hold on, let me get this situation taken care of.
There you go.
And actually, let me see.
Be careful making them left-hand turns, man. Come on.
Yeah, man. You gotta have your phone. You probably got one of those phone placement in his car. Just right there looking at it.
Yeah.
It's on it. Well, I'm about to ask on the total off the topic question. I'll wait till later and text. Let's see, private chat's got something going on here. I'm sorry, I'm just talking out loud. Everything is supposed to. Okay.
Pick a question, Rico. We can jump into that.
Okay.
Wait a minute. There he goes.
There he is.
We can't hear him.
Ramon, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
His mic is on.
Hit your mic.
Hit your mic, Ramon. It's on. He's just talking. Ramon. He is talking and driving.
He's in the zone, man.
Yeah,
He's going on.
You can't hear us. So let me back. Come back in, Ramon.
Yeah, he can't hear us.
Okay. Hello? 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 Ramon?
He'll probably need to log back in, check his volume before he comes in. Well, he's driving. It's going to be kind of hard.
Let me see. Damn, y'all removed. Let me see if he's back on. But anyway, y'all, Ramon. Okay, nothing I can do except just let him sit there until he catches on. And so, if there's anybody else in the room, come on in, hit that link right there. But we're here for questions and comments. Well, I had another question here. I think I went through all my questions.
I think you were going to the crowd, but we were trying to fill in a little time there.
Yeah, and they
had a question. Or you went actually you spoke on what was that? Oh, the Jay-Z Love Infinite.
Oh,
that's where we were at.
Oh, she's actually what would it look like? But Amadi said we must organize it. Going to the government asking for space and support would be a mistake. And I don't think we meant that, Amadi, going to the government and asking for space. I think what it is pretty much what we broke it down to be is all of us just building a fence around each other and doing those things that we need to do like other groups do. Yeah.
Right.
Me, we can't hear Ramon either.
Yeah.
So that's why we're moving on. Might have to hey, can you text him, me and tell him to check back in?
Rico, just go ahead and remove him from your the whole thing, even on the back end. Yeah. Let him log back in. But yeah, that you're right, Rico. Like we said, it does start with us, and we have to back each other. Like just like I see the ladies do, man. They go hard, even when they know that chick is dead ass out of line.
Yeah,
wrong, dead wrong. Yep.
Still pump each other up. I mean, I like that. I wish it was just pump us all up. You know what I mean? Like when I hear Black Girl Magic, they said that for Lizzo. They say that for any chick, Meghan Markle, whomever. They just say it. but we got to have the same thing on our end too.
I do. It's called. I do. It's called Black Man Mojo. I get
my posts. I'm just saying, in regards to those other folks who like, man, oh fuck that nigga. No, they should be like, hey, you know what? Leave that cat alone, man. Just let him be. He's a black man. He's a brother. That's how he feels. Let it go. Unless he's doing something, I guess illegal or whatever. You know, hey, let that man be. But you know, shit, we'll shame each other too, man. It's a cold world for us, man. We got to fight them, meaning other people other than, you know, black men and other black men.
Yeah,
like it's crazy.
It's a lot of beta maleism that's going on. I think Ramon is still trying. He's gonna have to come back. Yeah, he's going to come back in. Okay,
so we can see him, but can't hear him.
Yeah, he'll come back in the right way. But yeah, and you're right, and so it goes back to, man, we got a whole lot of work to do. We have to almost start from scratch,
right?
And because we're bickering over the politics part. And then I need us to get away from the damn TV set and away from sports and start talking about stuff that matters, like building. Because I would just think, I said, damn, I guess I don't hang around a lot of black dudes. I guess because I'm not in spaces like sports. I don't go to church. I don't care for sports bars, but I'll go in there because they got hot wings and Coors Light in a tap. You know. I go up in there, you know, I'm fucking hot wings. I'm not gonna play no games, please. And they got the Coors Light and the Bud Light on tap, and so and all the loudness that goes on, and so I recognize what kind of separates me from a lot of other black men. And I'm not a part of any organizations per se. So but I don't have a problem with meeting brothers where they are and saying hello. I'll build from us three, and it can grow.
You know what, Rico, when you just said that, it made me think back. And I know it's a little bit off topic, but there was a time where once I left Grambling, I came to Vegas, and then my job moved me to San Diego. And San Diego is a military town. You know, Navy, Air Force Base, all of that stuff out there, man. It's pretty evident. You can look at me. I'm not a service guy, but it reminded me of what you just said about, hey, I'm not Greek, so they didn't accept me. It was the same thing down there for me. Like, it's a hard time just getting acceptance as a regular black man.
Yeah, it's
crazy. And like it goes back to some of what I just said too. We're catching it from our own.
Yeah. Ramon, you made it back?
Right.
Yeah, I made it back. My apologies, my brothers.
Okay. You're right.
It's all good.
Now start over from where you were just talking and driving, and we didn't hear anything.
Okay, what I was saying was, and it all still plays into the topic at hand, this overusage of the term king and queen. You know, they want to use overextensions of patriarchal or matriarchal heritage right when we as a people want to show our ass in public. You know, you have women will respect us, show us our propers that are due. You want to be a queen, yet you still out here in the community running into your child's father, damn near killing him, and you're hospitalizing your child because of a relationship that is over, yet you still have ties or claws that you want into him. Or what's another situation? It's a hot topic in the news where this scorned black woman hired 3 brothers, unfortunately, to kidnap her baby daddy, beat him up, and kill the girlfriend. But you still want us to, you know, acknowledge you as a queen. Or you have the brothers that are out here still sagging, still gun-toting, and you want to be acknowledged as a king. Well, again, that's what the Democrats are looking at. And then they're hitting us from the back. And, well, we can help you resolve these issues. How are you going to help resolve the issues? If you want us to take a political stance, what are you going to do particularly to strengthen the black man's level or agenda of extension? Let's just be honest, that's what's going on right now. And I've had this conversation with a couple of my male recruitment family and brothers in high academic standing in HBCUs. We're losing the war, gentlemen. And as Dennis has spoken, and I support Dennis in what he's doing, especially being a child of two Black boys, one that's in his early 20s and a 13-year-old. What are we going to do, or what can we do? And more so, when are we going to start with these initiatives to protect us as an endangered species? Again, we mentioned how the LGBT, EFG, HIAJ, HIJK, elemental P,
LBJ, yeah,
have their protection. Right. They have their protection. And as soon as a heterosexual man speaks out that he doesn't agree with their agenda, well, we're gay bashing. We're not gay bashing. We just don't get along with what your antics are and those shenanigans that you're putting up. And me as a heterosexual Black male who, one, has both of his parents in his life, I don't appreciate the fact that all of the aspects in today's society is pitted against us. Mm-hmm. You have turned through redlining. You have turned through objectives that LBJ set up to separate and disenfranchise us, yet you still want to, some kind of way, sneak us into your agenda when we're not the total topic. I find grave seriousness in these problems. This is what I've done. And Rico, you and I have spoken about this. I even mentioned this to Tony one time when it came down to getting kids into Black colleges, and even Hank and I have chimed in on other conversations. This is what I'm going to do personally, and I'm working through this right now. Being that I hold a status in the HBCU environment, I'm going to do everything that I can to talk to our Black boys at the middle school age. And I would encourage you brothers to join in with me so that we can forward them to one of our 105 houses. Because the only way we're going to survive is us as the elder statesmen. Now, let's just come in agreement with this, fellas. We are in the position that our fathers were in. You know, we get a little gray up in here. You know, Tone, Hank. All this up in here. You know, Rico the only one with hair.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I say that to say this: it's time for the talk to be over. We have to now initialize. We are the elder statesmen. We have to set the political agenda. We have to reach out to Dr. Anderson and get him on these discussions and guide us as he's getting up in age. You know, father is getting up in age.
He's up there. He's 85.
Yeah. Right. So what we need to be doing is finding out how he can pass the torch to us and keep things moving. My initiative is to get every Black boy that I come in contact with from an early age, cultivate them and get them into an HBCU.
Exactly.
You know, I advocate education. I'm about to get my second graduate degree, of course, from an HBCU. But we are now, gentlemen, my brothers that I love, we are now the fathers, whether we have children or not.
Yes.
So we have to hit them politically. We have to hit them to the agenda where the dissension of the respect between Black man and woman is. And we have to get women on board that support. We have to get Queen Mother Shahrazad on some shows where that she can begin to touch base with these women. Because let's just think about it. You know, we can go on forever, you know, because we are red pill men, but at the end of the day, we got to find ways to support each other and still maintain that partnership with those women who are quote unquote Black women that are down for the community effort, the Black men in America. You know, we can't really deal with anything else. We're the ones with targets on our back. We have to look out for each other, from, you know, me reaching out to Rico in Dallas, to us reaching out to you, Hank, to reaching out to Tony. You know, I'm right here. You know, I can reach out to Dennis. I go to his office. You know, Dennis has handled some cases for me. I drop off gear to Dennis when I produce it. We have to now, gentlemen, put it into play. We have to reach out to, You know, as Rico was saying, we got to reach out to, you know, Dr. Jones. We got to reach out to Dr. Smith, Dr. Johnson. Hell, we got to reach out to Dr. Umar. We got to come together now. We are the fathers, my brothers. We are the fathers.
And Hank and I have this discussion all the time about, like, Hank, man, we're there. We're the new. We should be the new professors now. We should be the new doctors, or at least the voices that we listened to when we were students at Grambling. Believe we are there. And so Hank and I have been having those extensive dialogues during the pandemic. Like, all right, who are we going to be after the pandemic? And this is a good time that I think everybody, especially Black men, this is the time to reflect and recalculate or redo everything. Start over from scratch, and let's do this thing right. Now, as far as what you're saying, Ramon, the urgency of reaching the younger guys, man, it's like we are late in that game. And it's 105. It's dropped from 106 already. And like, damn. I mean, they shutting them down. And shutting them down. And I think HBCUs, you know what you said, Ramon? That right there is a saving grace for Black boys, sending them to HBCUs. If we can direct them, more of us can direct them. And it angers me a lot. And if y'all see my lives, I get into the zone when I'm cussing, and then I start screaming. Because it's like, come on, y'all. And I'm cussing and screaming because I know I'm talking to a bunch of accomplished people. Yeah. I'm talking to a bunch of folks who have it. You have the platforms. You got the money. You work these jobs as scientists and educators and entertainers, and you're professors. You're this, you're that, and corporate CEOs. And you got it. Why in the hell are we still sitting around, as the old play would say, waiting for Godot, or in the Black community waiting for Jesus? Right. Why are we still doing that? We haven't. That's why if anyone ever asks, why do I quote go off? Because I'm talking to people. I'm like, y'all, we're the ones supposed to be doing this. Y'all got to get off your ass. You're part of organizations. You're part of groups that's got thousands of people and money flowing. Why are our Black children suffering? Why are Black males suffering? What are we doing standing around? Who in the hell are we waiting for? And it still remains to be the question, what in the hell are we doing? And I'm just telling Hank and Tony, we have to really start from the beginning.
Yeah, that programming from way back.
Yeah, my God. Yeah, you
got the Men in Black. You got to Men in Black some of these folks and just hit them with that little thing and wipe them out.
Yeah.
And that's
that neuralizer, Tone. That neuralizer. We got to hit them with that neuralizer.
The thing is
there you go.
But it's work to be done, y'all.
If they don't learn from our conversations and our experiences, 9 out of 10, life is gonna whoop your ass and make you learn some shit.
Yeah, no doubt.
And
it may come at a hard, at a costly price there for some of those folks. Some never find out. Some find out when it's way too late. But to me, if you're breathing, it's not too late. It's never too late.
Damn right. And it's not about who's president or governor. It's about what you do. It's about what, because I'm gonna tell you something.
Yeah.
We can even talk about Black men who have 5 felonies and 4 baby mothers. You can still America's. Let's lay it out here. America's not a village in Rwanda. America's not a poor village in South America. Even the poorest person in America is wealthier than one of these war-torn countries in any other country anywhere else. And so when you say you live in America, shit is free. Libraries are free. Their work is out there. So I don't understand why we're so far behind when education is man, if I were 18 years old, my school would be totally free, because right now, man, you go to school, you get a associate's degree for free.
For free.
I mean, it's a 2.5.
But that to me, some of that goes back to our programming and how we were raised. You take those, what are the Asian, the Chinese or Japanese, and those African folks, man, they take what we have here for free serious.
Yeah,
we're really just like, we kind of look over like, whatever, you know. But
yeah,
we got to make good of that, man. We have to.
And I think what it is, brothers, we have a feeling that something is owed to us, which is the gravest sin that we're going through. We're feeling as if America owes us something. Let's just be realistic. They talk about reparations. We gonna wait for that pie in the sky until the four of us are burying each other.
Yeah.
You know, as I always quote, and y'all know your boys' heritage as a DJ, and I always say it on my little runs, you know, we got to get up, get out, and get something. If we're waiting on reparations, if we're waiting on stuff to be given for us, we're going to continue rating. And that's why the Hispanic culture has surpassed us.
Yeah. Get your own reparations. Go out there.
Get your own reparations. Right. We have to come together as a group. We have to send young brothers to each other, and we got to take them out and show them what their value is. You are value. You are life. Let's just take it back. You know, we want to make sure that we uplift the women, because I have a daughter. I have a 20-year-old daughter. Y'all might not remember, but I got a set of twins, a boy and a girl. So see, I always inspire the young ladies when I'm recruiting them. I talk to them like I talk to my daughter.
Yeah.
Life begins with you, but if it wasn't for a man, there would be no life.
Yes.
So when I direct that to my nephews, I have to tell them, you are the alpha and the omega, because let's just look at the statistics. There are more single parent homes where these mothers, and I think the last statement that I've read, 67%, the home is not producing what it should be. The mother is browbeating the son because, of course, the son wasn't conceived under the right conditions. You know how we talk, Rico? That son came up, that daughter came up from a slip of that nud. Let's hold on.
Can I get a timeout? Rico, look at your chat, Rico.
I got it.
You see that? You see that?
I got it. I saw it. He added it. Yeah, I saw it. And it's interesting. And who would have thought that I'd have that? Y'all saw the comment?
Rico, you should have let them stay there, man. Put it back. Go ahead and
put it back. What did it say? What did it say, Tom?
No, it's blocked.
I didn't see it.
The name was called Good Looking Honky or something like that.
Good looking honky. He said, yeah. He said, y'all are owed something. You owed a trip back to Africa.
5-year-old.
Huh?
It said we deserve what we get or whatever for killing that 5-year-old.
Say it again.
Africa.
No, it did. It didn't say that.
Yeah, it did.
He
put something there about the 5-year-old for killing the 5-year-old. That's what he just said. Or she. I don't know who it is. Good looking. No clue.
Yeah, I am. What I'm saying, I get it, but
I ain't see that.
That's not why we're here. We're here to keep moving and what we're talking about.
Yeah, we keep moving because that has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I ain't seen that. So keep it moving.
I blocked it, and so by you, Tony.
You must be doing something right, man. You're doing something.
Yeah. I said, where the fuck that come from?
There you go.
Yeah. Damn. Black men on here. We're not speaking slang. We're not throwing out ugly rap music. All of a sudden, somebody's come out of nowhere with the foolishness. But I heard you say, Ramon, and that's the language that should be shot to our young women. And I'm always telling young, and I'm a little rougher, not rougher, but I try to talk to young people where they are. Because my concern is, us going back to the ghetto and getting our people. Yeah. And talking to them directly about what they have, because so many of us have a hands off. Well, they can't help what they're doing. They learn it from home. I said, God damn it, let me give y'all this scenario. I got a bunch of roaches crawling all over my damn counter. And so I need to go and find out where the roach is coming from before I spray the raid. No, I'm going to spray the goddamn raid. Then I'm going to go look for where it comes from. Meaning, people say, well, you got to find out where it comes from as they continue to act a fool or continue this behavior. What you do is say, hey, stop that. This is why you're poor. When you continue to have children living in the ghetto, or you don't have no transportation, or you don't even have a house, well, that makes you poorer. How come it's wrong to tell them that? Well, don't tell them that because you don't know where they're coming from. Well, if you black in America, most 7, 8 times out of 10, you was poor in this motherfucker until we went to school or went to the military or something,
Right.
and got a job and did better.
Right.
So we already been through a lot of foolishness. So I'm past that. We got to find out where it comes from. You're attacking people. You don't know where they're coming from. I know where they're coming from, and I need to tell them, hey, stop the bullshit. I mean, Rico, not in those words, but go ahead, Tony.
Rico, it's only attacking when you do it. but they can do it right back to you. It's not attacking.
Right.
They
can do it all day long. Good point, Tom.
And it's not beating up on our people in the poor. I'm not saying like I'm an uppity Negro, been accused of Ramon and whoever else who's an Aquarius on this panel, but but I'm not. All the Aquarius is shout out uppity.
You know, shout out to the Aquariuses. That's right.
Uppity Negroes, y'all think y'all know everything.
What's happening, Aquarius?
Yeah, and so. And the thing is, so the thing is, man, we're gonna have to take a tougher and a closer approach to our people. Mentoring is not enough to say I got a little mentoring program. Now, and I'm going to what I did at Grambling. I wrote those newsletters, and Hank and I discussed it. I said, how come we can't write something like that and pass it around the hood in front and back, 13 font, double space, and just say what the topic is. You are poor because, and say, if you do this, you do that, you do this, this is what keeps you poor. And put 3 book titles at the end of the bottom of it. Read these books and you can gain your way out, because that's what Booker T. Washington, that's what my man named Frederick Douglass, that's how we got out the bullshit, through reading and education. How come we're not doing that for our folks? And then this is the days of technology. They're right
First
there.
book on the list, Rico. First book on the list.
But starting with something a little thinner. You know how we all intimidate. You're worse than Hank. Hank got a 7. Yeah, there y'all go. I say you intellectuals. Yeah. They ain't gonna put it. We tried to.
Hey, Rico. If they can read. Hey, if they can read Harry Potter, you know, they can read, you know, the creature from Jekyll Island. They be all right.
They be tell them, hey, tell them. But if they know what a damn Quidditch is, they can read Forrest in the Glove.
But we're talking about our kids in the in the hood.
Right.
Those kids read Harry Potter, go to a school that's like 5% black. So they go those schools.
You know what the hardest, the hardest thing with dealing with the folks or people in the hood, the guys or the females, is one of the things. There are multiple things, but one of the things is a positive is always a negative. You know, you're bringing them facts. If you bring that newsletter like you did when we were Grambling, those were facts. People hated facts, and you were at a place of education. Yeah. So you take that to the hood, where first you're talking correct and proper. They're gonna shit on you because of that. Now you're bringing this information. Hey, this can help you. Oh man, get out of here with that shit. I don't need that. I don't need that. Da 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 da. You know, I'm all right. Da 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 da. You know, they try to make it a negative, and it gets quite frustrating.
Well, the thing is, Tony, let me tell you what the experience in that. Because I've gotten the residuals 25 years later. That's how it always is. You are correct. My goal is not to get everybody, but to get somebody.
Yeah,
and so my newsletter didn't get everybody, but I know for a fact it got somebody. And so but we can't not do anything for anybody.
Right.
So I'm gonna imply that you said that you were doing it. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Even if you get one, you're right. That one can go out. If that one dude from the hood succeeds and his homies see it, the other one's eyes open like, well, wait a minute, hold up. That's another option. I don't have to sit here gang banging. I don't have to sit here selling dope, whatever. He just showed us the way.
Yeah. Now, my thing is to start the conversation. That's all, to get them to talking. Because one thing, the newsletter and any tweet or whatever, it gets people to talking. I don't think my inner city babies don't have that conversation thrown their way. And that's why I know it's simplistic. I know you probably it's like you just passing out a letter to what 2,000 teenagers and young people in the inner city. I'm gonna see a lot of them on the ground, but a lot of them gonna be in people's backpacks and in their books and taking home and taking to their mama. Their mama gonna read it either say who the fuck he think he is. I'm gonna have my email address on there, and then it might get to their politician and their preacher. You know how the stuff travels,
right?
And so then now we have to talk about why do we look like this in 2020? It's not required because I'm poor, and I keep saying on my lives and Facebook. My mother told me just because if you're born and raised in a barn, you don't have to look nor act like an animal. It is not required. It is not required because you're poor. You have to behave poorly.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying. I ain't got nothing against you being poor because it's just an economic situation, but temporarily, because you can think your way out of it if you are told education can be your way out, like it did for so many, like the book Up From Slavery. And even the song "How I Got Over." Well, that's how they got over. They read and they went to school. That's how they.
We also know from us attending college and even seeing some of the other schools, Southern and other schools, there were some cats who were real rough from the street and they made it over there. We know it can be done. We watched it. We seen it happen. They came from bad environments, all of that stuff. And those men and those ladies, they made it. Not all of them, but quite a few made it.
Yeah. And this is how we get black boys. And also my letters, gentlemen, I'm going to be suggesting counseling. I mean, suggesting places you go to learn to read, and I'm saying you need to learn how to read and write. Why do you still speak this way? So I'm not just going to be telling them, quote, about themselves. I'm going to be directing them to resources where they can go over here and get your GED. Go over here and learn how to read if you don't. It's okay. If you dropped out of school, it's not the end of the world. 16-year-old brother with a felony. And also, young lady, just because you have a vagina at 15, it doesn't mean a baby's supposed to come out of it. That's the language I'll use. No, he didn't. But they have to be spoken to in that way. Look how the rappers talk to our babies. And they don't have no filter.
You have a good point, man, because my oldest son, he's going to be turning 26 soon. And I tell him that. I tell his girlfriend, hey, don't let my son make you a single mama.
There you go.
You better be that boy's wife. If you are not his wife, don't do it. Don't do it. And that's where some of it starts too, even with my children and talking to their friends. And my oldest son, if I could bring him on, where he'll tell you, I get at his homies every time. Like, what are y'all doing? What are you guys trying to do? Who you doing it with? All that stuff. Everything where I messed up, I try to get at them and tell them, don't do that.
Right. That's key. That's key. We have to let them know, first of all, we're coming from the same place. We have done the same things they're at, but we're catching them where we weren't caught.
Exactly.
We're going to guide you. So when you get to that crossroad, your uncle's right there. We got you.
And just tell them, and
what you said.
Go ahead, bro.
No, I'm saying what Ramon said earlier about catching them in the middle school. That's like what we did with Becoming a Man with United African American Men over at Grammar High. I said, because those kids lit up. They expected to see us on Wednesday. They would look forward to it. And everybody picked their lesson for whatever they were going to talk about for that particular period. And then when we stopped, who was asking for it? The principal, who was a black female. So when they see brothers, like I said, I'm
That's a good idea. No,
I didn't hear you, Rico.
Now, I said that's a good idea. Even now, the BAM program, Becoming a Man, going to the schools, and men go there, and the BAM program is we asked the principal, Tony and Ramon, if we can have a class of 1 hour at the end of the day or middle of the day, however the schedule ran, and we can have those young men who are in threat of joining a gang or dropping out of school. Can we talk to them for that 1 hour? And each one of us had a major, and we would talk to them about our major. And then we'll talk about books and stuff. And then they would ask us questions. That was the BAM program when we were students at Grambling. Yep, it was awesome.
Yep, that's what Ramon just said it. That's what made me think about it. I'm like, dude, we did that when we was 19, 20, 21, knuckleheads,
Yeah.
So there's no reason why I can't work now that we're in our 40s, almost 50. Right.
Right. And see, I stay in junior highs, and I stay in junior highs more so now than I did in high schools. And particularly, and that's why I'm blessed. And this is no diss to our home stomping grounds. And this is what I'm trying to get our Grambling peers to know. You know, in the other HBCU families, we are in such a position to change the Black culture around and the narrative, even if the student is not going to college. Because remember, it's particularly here in Texas, and Rico, you can co-sign this for me. If we can guide them to a vocational skill,
yes,
at least that's giving them something that will create them as an asset. Ain't nothing wrong with getting HVAC certification, because hell, half these cats with these HVAC companies making more than some of us with degrees. But you have to grab them and show them that option is available and that it's viable.
Yes, it was called Votech when we was in high school, y'all.
Yeah,
remember that?
Yep.
And they cut it out in the inner city.
Yep.
They're saying a lot about that now, and it's crazy.
They cut it out. They cut it out of Ruston. They used to be. They used to have it was Ruston High when I was there.
There was one down I-20, right, go before Monroe, headed towards Monroe. There's a Votech school.
It was one in Ruston. It was in Ruston.
In high school, they had the Votech, because I know the guys used to come in homeroom. They come to the homeroom, and then they get on the bus and leave for the next 3 hours or so from the day. Then come back, or they do the 3 hours, then they leave for the rest of the day, going over to another facility that was welding and woodwork and small mechanics and all that stuff. The stuff that Mexicans and other people make about $1,000 a week plus doing. Doing it. And we around here, all these Black boys sitting around here don't know what to do. And they think they're supposed to just rap their way out the ghetto, bounce basketball or football out the ghetto. I'm like, dude, you can fix stuff. And a lot of them want to rap so hard because they need therapy. They look to music to talk about their hurt and their pain. And that's why you get all these hard songs from these young brothers. And their drill music in Chicago and all that stuff. And they're talking about killing and hurting each other. That's a lot of therapy that needs to be done. And it still goes on an umbrella as Black men that building the fence. We're going to have to do the work. And that's why I cuss so hard on my lives on Facebook. Like, come on, guys. Cut the bullshit. Tell me you got a mentoring program. You get 5 dudes a year. And it's about 50,000 you motherfuckers out there. Cut it out. You know, go and get them. And so I'm realistic. Even in Dallas, tons of people here, but they're not in the inner cities. Only when homecoming, only when they got a football game, Grambling Prairie View, you see everybody up and down them damn street. And so I'm like, come on.
And I'm gonna make this point.
Let me ask you, brother.
Jet, Hank.
No, I was gonna mess with you. I said, so during homecoming, do you have a Grambling shirt on or a Prairie View shirt on, or do you have the dividing line?
Watch this.
Half.
Look. During State Fair Classic, I'm always up there a week ahead of time because I'm recruiting, and of course, you know, I see the Grambling family and the Prairie View family. But when I'm at the game, I got both colors on.
Okay.
But this is what I do so I don't catch no flack. I'm up in the press box.
Good for you. Yeah.
You high now. Yeah, right.
And it's because, and I love our family, and I had this discussion with a couple of folks there, you know, with some stuff that's going on, and they always want to compare Grambling to Prairie View. And I tell them, honestly enough, there is no comparison. Let's just call it what it is. Prairie View is one of the top HBCUs in the nation. And I can do this because I'm part of that. But I'm trying to get our Grambling family to know, I'm trying to give them ideas of what we're doing at Prairie View, some of the initiatives that I started in Prairie View. And you know what holds us back from Grambling being the top school as it was when we were there? First of all, and I'm gonna cut out. First of all, you can't market Eddie Robb to Generation Z.
No, you cannot.
They don't know nothing about Generation Eddie Robb, because this generation, they are readers. I can show you the stats. They are readers. They legitimately were where we were. Well, what kind of programs y'all got?
Yeah.
And Gramblin's problem is the same folks that were in positions of authority, fellas, when we were there, are still
there.
There.
Yep. Look, I'm gonna cut out. I love you guys because my battery's about to go out.
Okay.
I'm gonna let y'all know the stuff I got coming up.
Right,
I'll let y'all later. One love, my brothers.
Well, be cool, Ramon.
All right, man. Take care, Ramon.
We go.
All right.
And okay, guys, if y'all got any closing remarks, this has been awesome. Even though, Tony, you got to show me how to cut the first 14 damn minutes or something. Or just
I got you.
let it play as is.
Right now, I got you. We'll get with that. I'll get with you with that in a little bit. But my closing remark is vote. Go vote. Vote for the person that has you and your family's best interest, and think hard on that. Don't let your emotions guide your vote. Think hard on that vote.
Okay. Henry.
Just want to say thanks first of all. It was a pleasure. It's my first time doing something like this, so I appreciate the opportunity. Hadn't talked to Tone in years, or at least
That's
2,
true.
because I know Homecoming last time I saw. But my closing remark would be, for the brothers and heterosexual black males listening to this, is don't be afraid to be selfish. Don't be afraid to be selfish. Worry about, like Tone just said, vote for the person that has your best interest at heart. My thing is, you have your best interest at heart, and then find like-minded brothers who have the same interests or the same goals, same aspirations, and partner with those brothers and make them become your family, your clan, your tribe, your brotherhood, whatever it is, until we all come together and get something done so we can defend ourselves. So we don't have to worry about being a protected class. We can protect each other. That's it.
Yeah, but that would make us a protected class, meaning we just started.
I know. I was just talking about outside of the political aspect. We'll get that power, but I'm saying just in general, we got to get the like-mindedness first, and then we can do the outward stuff.
Yeah, that's my goal, to continue to have like-minded.
But I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all, man, being available for this first one, and hopefully of many. And I'll be probably picking different dudes from my Facebook page, my Wico Wilbers page. I got a lot of intellectuals on that page, a lot of brothers who I'll just sit back and just let them have at it, and invite them on probably one-on-one, and just to hear their thoughts on the future of black men, what we can do from this day out, and regardless of whatever the election results are, what we can be doing. And individually, I want all of us to continue to what's called self-enrichment and continue to grow and be better when this pandemic is over. So I thank y'all, man, for making my first official black male panel discussion happen.
Right on, Rico. Thank you for inviting me, man.
Yes, sir.
Right on. Thank you for always inviting me.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for the invite.
Y'all dudes be cool.
All right.
All right. Have a good night.
Right on.